You were never meant to whisper. In rooms where your spirit was crowned. You were not made for muting miracles. To make others feel safe in their scarcity. There is a roar in your breath. That creation has been waiting to hear. And for far too long. You let the echo of other people's doubt sound louder than your own decree. But hear this now. Lack is not your lineage. Silence is not your inheritance. Survival is not your spiritual identity. You wore humility like a costume, because you were told wanting was shameful. You clutched your truth behind your teeth, thinking smallness was safer than the exposure of divine remembrance. But the voice you buried was the one God intended to build wealth with. And tonight you speak again. You speak, not to convince, not to beg, not to explain. You speak, because silence can no longer carry the weight of your becoming. The universe never stopped listening. It simply awaited your return. To authority, say this out loud. I no longer survive in silence. I rise by decree. Say it again, slowly, with breath, with sacred surrender. Every time you held back your truth, the soil grew dry. Every time you bit your tongue to keep the peace, the heavens held their breath. 'Cause you were the storm that would shift generations. And storms don't ask permission to rise. There is a wealth that only answers to sound. There is a promise that cannot find you until you open your mouth. Your voice is the signature of your sovereignty. It is the receipt of your remembrance. It is not just communication. It is creation. The lie of lack was stitched into your body through generations of quiet women who traded power for peace, bread for belonging, obedience for approval. But that lie ends with you. You are the interruption. You are the one who speaks, while her knees tremble, and her hands remember what it feels like to be chained. And yet, you open your mouth anyway, because the chains were always made of sound, and freedom always rides on a voice. This is not a performance. This is prophecy. You don't speak to prove. You speak to return. You speak to come home. To the part of you that always knew. Supply is spiritual. Abundance is remembrance. Lack is a lie. When you whisper in fear, life responds in fragments. But when you roar in truth, God rearranges the cosmos on your behalf. This is not a metaphor. This is a spiritual law. Every I am is a door. Every spoken word is a blueprint. Every sentence you release in authority summons the resources that were waiting on your sound. You've tried silence. You've tried waiting. You've tried being good, quiet, obedient, grateful for crumbs, while starving in spirit. But now you speak. Not for approval. Not for applause. Not for attention. You speak to command the reality heaven already wrote for you. You speak because God heard you before you even cried. And your voice now is simply the reply to what heaven already decided. There is no lack in God, so there can be no lack in you, unless you say so. Your decree builds dimensions. Your silence builds delay. So speak. Speak as if your voice is the opening act of abundance. Speak as if the vibration you release becomes the floor beneath your next miracle. 'Cause it does. You've been waiting for a sign. But your voice is the sign. Say this again. I no longer survive in silence. I rise by decree. Breathe. There are timelines collapsing now. Because your voice broke the contract you never meant to sign. The contract that said, I'll stay small so others feel big. The contract that said, if I'm quiet, I'll be safe. The contract that said, if I don't ask, I won't be rejected. All of it gone. Dismantled. By the sound of a woman remembering who she is. You are not a beggar. You are a builder. You are not a visitor. You are the vault. You are not hoping for wealth. You are where it begins. Begins with your word. Begins with your breath. Begins right now. If you feel this truth in your bones, type, lack is not my lineage. Let the algorithm become altar. Let the comment section become confession. Let this moment become your return. Say it again. Lack is not my lineage. Feel it this time. There is no shame in what you survived. But you do not have to live there anymore. The silence that kept you safe has now become the silence that keeps you small. And you are not small. You are sovereign. You are not quiet. You are called. You are not begging. You are birthing. The lie of lack only survives when you choose to believe. Your voice has no power. So speak. Speak until your nervous system remembers that safety does not live in hiding. Speak until your bank account feels the vibration of your I am. Speak until lack gets uncomfortable, trying to live where wealth has been decreed. And even if your voice shakes, even if your truth trembles, even if your lips barely move, speak. Because the moment you do, something ancient breaks, and something divine begins. Say this one final time, not with fear, but with holy fire. I no longer survive in silence, I rise by decree. Let this be the night you stopped waiting, stopped whispering, and started walking in sound. You are not here to survive. You are here to speak. And remember, you were never forgotten. Let your voice carry that memory now. The door you prayed over never had a lock. It only had silence. You stood outside, waiting for a sign, for approval, for divine permission. But all along, heaven was waiting on sound, your sound. Because in this world of spoken reality, it is not effort that moves mountains. It is decree. It is not proving that parts the seas. It is vibration. You begged God with action. When God asked for voice, you built, you pushed, you performed, thinking sweat would earn you supply. But supply was always spiritual. And spiritual things do not answer to strain. They respond to resonance. To remember who you are is not to work harder. It is to speak from the throne you forgot was yours. Say this slowly. I speak from completion, not condition. Feel that. Let your nervous system soften around it. Completion, not condition. You do not speak because circumstances are perfect. You speak because heaven already decided. You speak because you are no longer negotiating with the old world. You don't ask the mirror to reflect the new identity. Before you wear it, and the mirror bows. The moment your voice shifted, your timeline began to rewrite itself. Every I am was a blueprint sent into the unseen. And not one word you ever spoke in faith was wasted, even the ones you whispered. Through clenched teeth and silent tears, they moved something. They moved angels. They moved atoms. They moved you. What if every delay was not denial, but divine protection? Because your voice wasn't yet fully returned to you. You thought you were waiting on breakthrough. But breakthrough was waiting on volume, on vibration, on remembrance. And now you remember. You are not here to beg. You are here to declare. You are not here to wait for the world to give you permission to speak as a queen. You are here to decree reality, as one who never left the throne. Even when they told you to be quiet, be good, to be grateful for the bare minimum. You always knew there was more than survival, more than struggle, more than earning love with silence. Your voice is not rebellion. It is return. It is the signal to the universe that you have come home to the truth of who you are. Not a child begging for allowance, but a sovereign, speaking the law of her own soul. And the law is this: as I speak, so it forms. As I decree, so it becomes. As I vibrate, so it arrives. Let your voice be sacred again. Let it carry the frequency of one who is no longer surviving, one who no longer waits for outside validation to name what already lives inside. You are not looking for the door. You are the key. And the key is not in performance. The key is not in perfection. The key is in vibration. In saying what God already whispered to your soul. You're not building a new life. You're remembering one that was spoken before you arrived, before time, before pain, before the lie of lack. The word was, and the word was you. Say it again. I speak from completion, not condition. You don't speak because it looks like it's working. You speak because you are the working. You are the miracle in motion. The miracle isn't coming. The miracle is your voice, returning to itself. You are not waiting for clarity. You are creating it. With every breath. You are not auditioning for abundance. You are the vibration it seeks. Every time you say, I am, you rearrange your reality. You collapse the false timelines. You exit the lie of worthiness. And enter the truth of inheritance. Not by effort, but by energy, by identity. The old you believed she had to work for access. The new you knows. That access is activated by voice. There is no door in the spirit that does not open to the sound of divine remembrance. And your remembrance sounds like this. I am divine wealth. I am never without. I am spoken reality. I am decree. Every time you say it, heaven replies. It is so. And if the old programming rises, the doubt, the fear, the guilt of wanting more, breathe and speak again, because spoken reality is not a one-time event. It is a lifestyle of return. You speak again, because the truth doesn't expire. You speak again, because energy responds to direction. You speak again, because your voice is the compass of your becoming. You don't speak for results. You speak to remind the universe that it answers to you now, not from arrogance, but from awareness, from identity. You were always the garden. You were always the gate. You were always the godseed, waiting for water. And your voice is the rain. Let the soil drink this now. I speak from completion, not condition. Say it, until every cell remembers. Say it, until your spine straightens. Say it, until time submits. Say it, until overflow recognizes its home in you. You are not here to chase. You are not here to wait. You are not here to work for worth. You are here to command, to declare and receive, to become the spoken word, made flesh again. If this awakens something ancient, type, my voice is my currency. Let the unseen hear you. Let the algorithms bow. Let the old systems tremble. Because once a woman remembers her voice, the world she was told to settle for begins to collapse. And from that collapse, a kingdom rises, spoken by her own sound. Truth does not whisper, does not ask for permission, does not wait for proof. Truth enters the room, and the room must rearrange. It is not a suggestion, it is a shift. And you, beloved, are not here to recite what you've seen. You are here to declare what you know, even before the evidence, even before the bank confirms it, even before they believe you. Because truth isn't what you see, it's what you say. Say this slowly, from your belly, from the place before language. What I say in faith becomes. That's the law, that's the code, that's the current. Heaven does not wait for you to hustle. Heaven waits for you to speak. Your word is the gate, the switch, the ignition, and there is no delay between your voice and the universe obeying it. Only your memory of being unworthy stood in the way. But even that was never yours. You absorbed that silence from voices that forgot their own. You inherited that delay from ancestors who were punished for speaking too soon, too loud, too powerfully. But now, the line ends with you. This is not the moment you beg. This is not the moment you hope. This is the moment you declare. Say it again. What I say in faith becomes. You are not manifesting with your feelings. You are commanding with your truth. You are not rearranging matter with effort. You are reprogramming energy with your voice. And every time you speak, as the one who already has, heaven moves. It moves the meeting. It moves the money. It moves the minds of kings and queens who are assigned to bless you. 'Cause your word is the divine decree that angels recognize. You have cried, labored, performed, waited, doubted, but you were always one sentence away from your atmosphere shifting. Say this: I am not becoming. There is no build-up in the spirit. There is only breath and belief. You don't qualify yourself by what you've done. You qualify yourself by what you dare to say. And the moment you say it, everything bows, everything shifts, everything realigns itself to match your spoken reality. Your word is not a wish. It is a wand. Does not hope. It instructs. Does not question. Commands. So speak as one who knows her place in the kingdom. Speak as one whose supply is spiritual, whose wealth is remembrance, whose inheritance was never lost, only silenced. You were not sent here to wait for overflow. You were sent here to announce it, to open your mouth and awaken timelines with your decree. This is not magic. This is law. This is scripture in motion. This is God in voice. And your voice is enough to part what needs parting and summon what you once thought was out of reach. You don't speak because it's easy. You speak because it's true. You don't speak because it looks likely. You speak because it's already done. God heard you before you finished the sentence. God assigned angels the moment you released the sound, because the frequency of truth cannot be ignored. You thought you had to chase favor. You didn't. You only had to announce it. And when you do, favor rearranges itself to find you. When you speak, heaven says, she knows now. She knows she's not a servant. She's a sovereign. She knows she's not a seeker. She's the source. She knows she's not lost. She's light in motion. And when a woman knows, the universe obeys. There is no greater currency than the I am decree. 'Cause I am doesn't describe the present, defines it. It writes what was unwritten, plants what was never planted. It heals what never had permission to bloom. You are not here to be accurate. You are here to be aligned. You are not here to speak what the world believes. You are here to speak what heaven decided. And heaven already decided. You are enough. You are chosen. You are wealthy by nature, not by effort. You are not earning supply. You are embodying it. And embodiment begins with breath, with language, with spiritual recall. You are not repeating affirmations. You are returning to truth. Every time you say, I am the blessing, I am the receiver, I am the wealth, reality folds in your favor. Say this with me now. Not from your lips, but from your lineage. What I say in faith becomes. Speak it until your body shifts. Speak it until your posture changes. Speak it until the atmosphere bends. Speak it until the spirit world salutes. You are not asking for change. You are activating it. You are not hoping to be heard. You are the voice heaven echoes. Let your mouth remember its magic. Let your soul reclaim its language. This is not motivation. This is manifestation. Through identity. And your identity is no longer, I'm trying. I'm waiting. I'm working for it. Your identity is, I hold. I decree. That is the truth. That is the shift. That is the miracle. And if you feel God rising, as you speak this aloud, type, my word is a wand. Let the comments become cathedrals. Let the echoes ripple across timelines. Because when truth is spoken, heaven moves. Always, you said. You were taught to strive, to hustle, prove, to labor, to perform for pennies, while your soul ached for proof. But the truth was never in the hustle. It was always in the hush before it. The sacred knowing that whispered. You were never here to earn supply. You were here to speak it. What you thought was a paycheck was really a prophecy. What you called income was really inner command. Because money does not move for effort alone. Moves for identity. Dances to decree. The world said, work harder. Heaven said, Speak louder. And still you whispered. Still you waited. Still you wounded your own body. To receive scraps. From a table you were born to build. You traded sleep for survival. You called exhaustion grace. You made productivity a god. And silence a grave. But spirit was never looking at your effort. Spirit was listening to your echo. Echo of your I am. Echo of your truth. The echo of the soul's secret signature. That declares, my wealth is not earned, it's spoken. Say that with me. Say it as if heaven hears you. Say it like the air will carry it. To the treasury of the stars. My wealth is not earned, it's spoken. You don't attract by worthiness. You attract by alignment. You don't call forth by proof. You call forth by presence. Your voice, beloved, is the sound of abundance remembering its address. Your tongue is the pen of overflow's arrival. And the moment you release the old spell, that said you must do to deserve, you return to the holy truth. You are not a worker of wealth. You are the womb of it. Supply does not require your performance. It requires your position, your posture, your permission. And what gives permission is not hustle. It is wholeness. Wholeness says, I don't need to earn what I am. I don't need to chase what I carry. I don't need to prove what was already written. Say this out loud. Supply is spiritual. Say it again. Supply is spiritual. It's not a product of the economy. It's a result of embodiment. It's not given by systems. It's summoned by sovereignty. You've been paid in fractions. But your soul was designed for fullness. And fullness flows. Not from grinding. But from grounding. Grounding into your truth. Grounding into your enough. Grounding into the frequency. Where wealth no longer feels like a wish. Feels like a memory. You are not asking for more. You are awakening what was always yours. And when you speak it, not timidly, not apologetically, but sacredly, it remembers. Heaven remembers. Money remembers. Matter remembers. You remember. You don't build overflow. You become it. And to become it, you must say it. Not as a hope, as a homecoming. Say this. My voice builds my vault. My decree determines my destiny. I am wealth remembering itself. Feel how the words return you to the inheritance that shame tried to erase. Feel how your breath becomes a blessing when you stop outsourcing your worth to outcomes. You no longer wait for confirmation. You no longer sacrifice your health for a number on a screen. You stand, you still, you speak, and heaven answers. Not with delay, but with direction. Not with resistance, but with remembrance. Because heaven already decided. And now you've declared it. There is nothing left to prove. There is only truth to pronounce. Say this like you mean it. My wealth is not earned, it's spoken. The currency you thought you lacked was always coded in your voice. When you said, I can't afford that, money agreed. When you said, I never get ahead, money echoed. But when you say, I am divine supply in motion, the universe moves, the walls fall, the gates open. 'Cause your mouth is the gatekeeper of your experience. And when you speak in truth, everything shifts. You are no longer surviving. You are sourcing. Sourcing your world. With your words. No more asking from emptiness. No more begging through burnout. No more tying your value to how much you bleed. You speak now. You receive now. You rise now. Not as one who earns, but as one who remembers. Supply is not a salary. It is a signal. It responds to sound. It responds to identity. It responds to declarations that drip with devotion. So drip, beloved. Drip in belief. Drip in power. Drip in divine certainty. Let your voice become the waterfall that washes away every lie that said, you must hurt to receive. Let your word become the altar where lack dies quietly and overflow breathes again. Say it one last time. My wealth is not earned, it's spoken. And if you feel this freedom, rising like a fire you forgot you had. Type in the comments. Supply is spiritual. Let the algorithm become a church. Let the screen become sacred. Let the testimony travel. To every woman who forgot. She didn't need to try harder. She only needed to speak clearer. You're not here to be busy. You're here to be bold. You're not here to wait. You're here to wake. Wake the divine inheritance with your decree. Wake the divine wealth with your voice. Wake the divine memory. That you were never meant to labor for what responds to your light. It's time to live by voice. Not volume. By decree. Not demand. By truth. Not trauma. You are not the worker. You are the word. You are not the seeker. You are the spell. And your word was always enough. You never needed to chase your future. You were always speaking it. Every I am was a chisel. Every I am was a brushstroke. Every I am was a prophecy, shaping the landscape you now walk. Your world didn't appear from effort. It unfolded from declaration. The law of the I am is not a belief. It is a spiritual law, the highest order of truth. Cannot be broken. Cannot be undone. You are not simply living life. You are living language. The words you call yourself are the worlds you walk through. And so I ask you gently, what have you been calling yourself in silence? What names did pain assign to you that you accepted without question? Did you say, I am broken, I am tired, I am behind, I am too much, I am not enough? And the universe, like a loyal servant to your sovereign decree, answered yes. Yes, beloved, you are broken, you are tired, you are behind, not because it is truth, but because you said it was. The law of the I am is a mirror that cannot lie, does not judge, does not ask, obeys, without fail, without delay, without emotion. So today, you stand in the sacred temple of your identity, and you choose again, not from shame, not from blame, but from holy remembrance. You are not your habits. You are not your past. You are not your performance. You are what you decree. And when you say, I am divine wealth and I walk in it now, heaven reorders itself. Say it again, softly, lowly, truthfully. I am divine wealth and I walk in it now. Do you feel that? That quiet shift in your chest. That is the law moving. That is the unseen bowing to your spoken truth. This is not manifestation. This is remembrance. This is not about attracting something new. It is about returning to what was already yours. But you forgot to name it. Name it now. Let your I am be the fire that burns the old scripts. Let your I am be the doorway, where lack is no longer allowed to follow. Speak high, and heaven answers. Speak low, and limitation listens. You were not given the gift of speech to gossip with God. You were given the sacred authority to become. When you say, I am safe, your nervous system softens. When you say, I am chosen, the shadows no longer chase you. When you say, I am supplied, money looks for you. 'Cause I am is not a word. It is a vibration that the entire universe recognizes as divine authority. So what will you command now? What will you no longer deny? Say it out loud. I am no longer surviving. Say it again. I am the voice of divine remembrance. You are not begging anymore. You are building. You are not doubting anymore. You are deciding. And you are not hoping anymore. You are declaring. The I am within you is not a concept. It is the breath of God, animating your bones into truth. What you attach to it, you birth. What you assign to it, you live. What you refuse to speak, you continue to lack. Lack is not a condition. It is an identity misnamed. But today, you call yourself whole. You call yourself prosperous. You call yourself ready. 'Cause you are. You always were. Say it with fire. I am divine wealth and I walk in it now. Let your words become the womb that delivers your next dimension. Let your decree become the door you walk through without apology. You do not need permission to be powerful. You only need to speak it. You do not need evidence to be abundant. You only need to name it. You do not need timing to be chosen. You already are. Say this now. I am chosen. I am seen. I am fully resourced by heaven. I am abundance in motion. And if your I am is rising, not just in word, but in body, in spirit, in memory, then type this in the comments. And let your digital altar burn bright. I decree abundance now. Because you're not just a listener. You're a legislator. You're not just spiritual. You are sacred. You're not waiting for life to happen. You are happening to life. With every I am, you dare to say, let the world rearrange. Let the heavens conspire. Let matter move. Because the law of the I am cannot be broken. It is the code, the compass, the currency, the crown. You are not here to play small with big truth. You are here to speak as one who remembers. Say it again. I am divine wealth and I walk in it now. Speak it until your cells believe. Speak it until your bank account obeys. Speak it until fear forgets your name. This is the new spell. This is the holy command. This is the reprogramming. This is the throne. And you, beloved, are finally sitting in it. There are miracles waiting for you. But they are not hiding. They are listening. Listening. For the sound of your courage. For the vibration of your permission. For the moment your voice becomes more loyal to truth than to fear. You thought it was missing. You thought you had to wait. You thought manifestation was delay. But it wasn't delay. It was silence. The silence you wrapped around your desire, like a cloak of shame. The silence you justified by calling it humility. The silence you called protection, when it was really starvation. Starvation of the dream. Starvation of the soul. Starvation of the wealth that only moves when spoken into motion. You were never unworthy, just quiet. You were never denied, just delayed by your own refusal to speak what was holy. There is power in naming. There is prophecy in sound. There is resurrection in opening your mouth and saying what you were afraid to need. Say it. Say it not for proof, but for release. Say it not to convince the world, but to remind yourself that you matter, that you are allowed, that your desires were divine architecture, not accidental impulses. Say it now. I am no longer afraid of my desire. You see, beloved, fear has only one trick: to make you ashamed of what God already decided was yours. But heaven is not silent. It's responsive. And it doesn't move when you perform. Moves when you decree. So why have you been whispering your dreams in the dark while shouting your doubt in the light? Why have you been feeding fear with your voice and starving your vision with your silence? There are doors waiting for your word. There are miracles that cannot override your muteness. There is no override to your authority. You must speak, not when it's safe, not when it's certain, but when it's true. And truth is hungry for your tone. You don't need to be ready. You need to be real. Say it again. I am no longer afraid of my desire. Because your desire was never dangerous. Your desire was delivery. Delivery of memory. Delivery of blueprint. Delivery of the next dimension. Already carved in heaven's script. Waiting for your voice to catch up. The universe is voice activated. Not hustle activated. Not approval activated. Not timing activated. Spoken certainty. Not because you earned it, but because you remembered it. Say it again. Slower this time. With breath in your belly. With softness in your jaw. With spirit in your spine. I am no longer afraid of my desire. Your silence was never spiritual. It was a trauma response to the times you were punished for being too much, too bold, too loud, too ambitious, too sensitive, too everything. But now, your sensitivity is a channel. Your voice is not a weapon. It's a wand. And what you refuse to say will keep waiting for your yes. This is not about magic. This is about memory. You are not building a new life. You are remembering the one your soul already knew, before your fear ever formed a sentence. The desire inside you is the map. The voice inside you is the key. And the only thing that can block it is you pretending it's not real. Stop trying to sound humble. Start sounding holy. Stop trying to sound safe. Start sounding sovereign. This is not the season for timid affirmations. This is the season for thunder disguised as breath. Say it with me now, as if heaven is leaning in. I speak my wealth out loud. Again. I speak my wealth out loud. And if you feel your spirit shifting in your body, if your belly is warming, if your chest is softening, if your spine is straightening like a pillar, type it below. Let the digital altar catch fire. Let the comment section be your covenant. Type, I speak my wealth out loud. Because until you speak it, you teach your life to starve. Until you name it, you teach your destiny to delay. Until you own it, you teach the universe to wait. And heaven is tired of waiting on your fear. This is where your silence ends. This is where your authority returns. This is where your miracles finally get the green light. Not because of action, not because of perfection, but because of permission. Say it again. I am no longer afraid of my desire. This is your new voice. This is your new supply. This is your new dimension. And it was always one sentence away. She does not chase. She remembers. She does not beg. She breathes. She does not wait. She walks in it. The woman who commands wealth doesn't shrink when fear whispers. She widens. She roots. She rises. She does not lower her voice to make lack comfortable. She does not dim her light to be digestible to doubt. She does not explain herself to trauma dressed as logic. She speaks, and heaven answers. She decrees, and the universe obeys. She aligns, and all things bow to her clarity. Because when she opens her mouth, she is not requesting. She is remembering. She is not auditioning. She is anointing the atmosphere with truth too ancient to negotiate. Say this out loud. I speak as the one who already has. You have chased long enough, and every time you ran, you outran the throne that was trying to meet you. In stillness, you performed for money. You postured for acceptance. You hustled for permission from a world that was never your source. But today, you return to your inheritance. Today, you reclaim the ancient rhythm of a woman who knows. She knows who she is. She knows what she carries. She knows that her wealth does not arrive through effort, but through identity. She knows that money has memory. And when she speaks, money remembers. It remembers the sound of truth. It remembers the fragrance of clarity. It remembers the woman who never begged it to stay, because she never forgot it belonged. Say this again. I speak as the one who already has. You are not attracting. You are aligning. You are not convincing. You are commanding. There is no lack. There is only silence. There is no delay. There is only misalignment. There is no rejection. There is only the echo of what you've been saying to yourself when no one is watching. But now you speak differently. You speak with memory. You speak with mastery. You speak with the voice of a woman who came back to the temple of herself. And in that temple, there is no scarcity. There is no begging bowl. There is only overflow. Say it with breath in your belly. Wealth recognizes me now. If that feels like home, if something in your spirit is rising through your skin, then let the comment space become your decree altar. Type it now. Wealth recognizes me now. You are not the version that tries to earn what's already hers. You are not the woman who trades her energy for crumbs. You are not the girl who gives gold in exchange for momentary validation. You are the architect of atmosphere. You are the commander of currents. You are the living proof that divine wealth was never about chasing. It was about claiming. And claiming is not noise. It's vibration. It's when your cells hum with remembrance. It's when your posture straightens without asking. It's when your voice becomes a throne and your words a field of divine harvest. Say it again, slower, as if God is listening, 'cause He is. I speak as the one who already has. The old way is dead. The way of running, of rushing, of reaching, has expired. The new way is remembering. Remembering what heaven already decided. That supply is spiritual. That wealth is remembrance. That overflow is your original language. So don't chase what responds to truth. Don't beg what is waiting for your command. Don't water down your voice for a system that was never your source. Speak now, not from lack, but from knowing, not from trauma, but from throne, not from condition, but from completion, because the woman who commands wealth has nothing to prove. She simply arrives, she speaks, and the universe organizes around her sound. Say it again, this time, from the root of your spine. Wealth recognizes me now. Let this be the moment. Your hustle goes silent, and your throne begins to speak. Let this be the breath, where you stop asking, and start receiving. Let this be the decree, where you are no longer surviving. You are supplying light, supplying truth, supplying the divine current of remembrance that rewrites everything. You're not too late. You're not too much. You're not too loud. You're not too ambitious. You are exactly what heaven had in mind when it designed overflow. And now, you match it with your voice, with your decree, with your arrival. So speak now, and never stop. Say this out loud. I speak as the one who already has. And if this feels like home, if your bones feel like truth, just walk back in the door. Type it now. Wealth recognizes me now. And so it is. And so it has always been. Your old reality was built by silence. Not silence as peace, but silence as survival. Silence that formed around the wound. When your voice was first shamed, they taught you to hush, to hold it in, to adapt, to behave, play small, so others could stay comfortable in their illusions. But comfort is not your covenant, and silence is not your sanctuary. You wore silence like armor, but even armor gets heavy when truth is trying to rise. The version of you that suffered, she rehearsed lack with her words and memorized survival like it was scripture. But now, you remember, you were never created to protect other people's fears. You were never designed to repeat patterns that starve your soul. You were created to speak the new world into motion, to decree destiny, and let it obey your voice. Prophesy, with breath alone. Say this slowly. I speak until heaven agrees. This is not noise. This is not panic. This is prophecy. Every word you say now is breaking the bones of the old blueprint. Every I am you whisper is cracking open timelines that tried to keep you trapped. This is sacred demolition. This is holy undoing. This is the place where the survival self dies and your divine self learns to speak again. You no longer rehearse poverty with your lips. You no longer worship waiting. You no longer serve cycles that drain your breath and call it loyalty. You speak until the atmosphere shatters. You speak until the bricks fall from the old cage. You speak until heaven shouts back with overflow. This is the return of your voice, the sacred return of your ability to break what broke you without guilt. You don't owe shame. Another sentence. You don't owe fear. Another phrase. You don't owe survival. Your silence. This is where you get loud. with God. Not in volume, but in vibration. Not in performance, but in power. Say it again as if truth just remembered your name. I speak until heaven agrees. Let your mouth be a floodgate. Let your voice become a storm that clears the rubble of every limiting belief you were ever taught to swallow. Say it until fear gets dizzy. Say it until doubt gets drowned. Say it until timelines collapse from the pressure of your remembrance. You are not crazy. You are called. You are not unstable. You are unlearning. You are not broken. You are breaking free. The old you never had a voice, because she thought she had to earn it. She thought she had to wait for evidence before she opened her mouth. You open your mouth now, and reality bows. You are not waiting for proof. You are becoming the proof. You are not performing for permission. You are declaring your position. This is spoken reality. This is subconscious reprogramming. This is divine reconstruction. Even if your knees shake, even if your past screams, even if your old self begs you to stay silent just a little longer, speak anyway. Speak like overflow has already said yes. Speak like wealth has already chosen you. Speak like God heard you before you ever opened your mouth. Say this out loud. My decree rewrites destiny. And if you're ready to break the cycle, type it now. My decree rewrites destiny. Don't whisper what heaven gave you to command. Don't tiptoe where you were meant to thunder. Don't shrink when the sacred asks you to stand. Your old world was made of crumbs and compromise, but your new world is made of clarity and covenant. You were never forgotten. You were never behind. You were never broken. You were only waiting for the courage to speak what you knew all along. Now speak it. Speak until the old chains loosen. Speak until your nervous system remembers. You were not created to survive. You were created to supply. Speak until the lies lose their grip. Speak until your body feels safe enough to believe you again. Speak until divine wealth is not an idea, but your new atmosphere. Say it one more time. I speak until heaven agrees. And when you say it, heaven moves. Reality rewires. Miracles activate. Provision arrives. Not because you earned it, but because you remembered. You were always allowed to ask for it out loud. This is not the end. This is not just a moment. This is a momentum. A holy avalanche of spoken restoration. This is where you build with breath. This is where your voice becomes currency. This is where the past has no access to your present decree. Speak, and don't stop until overflow can no longer stay away. Speak, and let every old agreement collapse under the sound of your divine identity. Speak, and remind your blood that it carries the signature of wealth, of power, of remembered God force. Speak, and do not wait for someone to validate what your spirit has already authored, because heaven already decided. And now, your voice is catching up, so speak now. Daughter of light, speak now. Keeper of divine codes, speak now. Heir of abundance, and keep speaking until the only thing left is truth. If you're ready to break the cycle, if this voice sounds like yours, coming home to itself, then type it now. Let the comment space carry your holy announcement. My decree rewrites destiny. And so it is. And so it always was. You thought you needed more action. You thought you needed more proof, more performance, more doing. But what you really needed was to return to your authority. You were never meant to chase abundance. You were meant to speak it. You were never meant to earn your provision. You were meant to embody it. There is no shortage when you realize you are the source, not the source of supply, but the source of spoken reality. Your word is already wealth. You were taught to barter your power, to believe wealth lived in a paycheck, or a number, or someone else's permission. You were taught to wait until you deserved it. You were taught to ask for less, so you wouldn't be too much. But heaven never asked you to shrink. God never asked you to whisper what was holy. The divine never required you to prove you were worthy. Your wealth was never about works. It was always about the word. And your word, beloved, is law, is light, is inheritance. The moment you speak with spiritual clarity, cannot stay, because lack is allergic to the voice of someone who remembers. Say this slowly. My voice is wealth, and it echoes now. There is a resonance in you that cannot be denied. There is a vibration in every decree you speak that shifts the field around you. You don't need to run. You need to reverberate. You don't need to hustle. You need to hallow. You don't need to beg. You need to believe. Your voice was never just sound. It was structure. It was scaffolding. It was the divine blueprint for a life already promised to you before you could even name it. Your voice is not a request. It is a return to what you already carry, a return to what heaven already wrote, a return to the wealth that was waiting for your command. Speak not from fear. Speak from fulfillment. Speak not to prove. Speak because it already is. When you speak in wholeness, you receive in wholeness. When you declare from identity, you receive without delay. This is where your wealth begins speaking back. You've felt it, haven't you? The moment you stopped begging and started blessing. The moment you stopped chasing and started claiming. The moment you spoke with clarity and watched the world reorganize around your decree. Because heaven was listening. God heard you. Your word sent signals to the invisible. And the invisible rearranged to obey. This is not a fantasy. This is frequency. You are no longer speaking for survival. You are speaking from sovereignty. You are no longer performing to get. You are speaking to receive. You are no longer hoping to be chosen. You are choosing yourself. Loud. Say it again. My voice is wealth, and it echoes now. Let this echo through every timeline that told you to be quiet. Let it echo through every room you once felt too small to enter. Let it echo through every old identity that thought you had to earn what was always yours by decree. You don't need to push. You need to prophesy. The old you was trained to sacrifice peace for progress. But this version of you knows the true progress is the spoken possession of what's already finished. Your word is your wand. Your voice is your vault. Your decree is your delivery. And your wholeness is your wealth. You don't wait for wealth to arrive. You speak it, and it recognizes your tone. You speak it, and it remembers who you are. You speak it, and it returns to its rightful place. To your feet, in your field, in your hands, in your name. This is the holy echo. The place where what you say creates what you see. The place where sound becomes substance. The place where identity becomes income. The place where breath becomes breakthrough. And if you feel this prophecy inside you, if your body is buzzing with the remembrance of power, then speak again. Declare it now. Let the digital space hold your revelation. I was born to speak wealth. Type it now. Type it as testimony. Type it as transformation. Type it as truth. You no longer live in delay. You no longer speak in lack. You no longer wait to be picked. You speak. And reality responds. You speak. And timelines shift. You speak. And overflow cannot unhear you. Every sentence is a seed. Every decree is a doorway. Every word is a wave of wealth returning. Let your voice be your currency. Let your clarity be your contract. Let your frequency be the form heaven honors. Because heaven already decided. And now your voice is catching up to the yes that's been echoing through the ethers since before you were born. You are not a visitor here. You are the vault. You are not an outsider. You are the oracle. You are not waiting for wealth. You are the wealth that speaks its own arrival. One more time. Let it settle in your bones. Say it not from your throat, but from your knowing. My voice is wealth, and it echoes now. And now it echoes through everything. Through silence, through cells, through contracts, through consciousness, through creation. And it cannot be reversed. Let the cycle be complete. Let the story be rewritten. Let the voice be restored. You are the living decree. You are the walking remembrance. You are the sacred sound that wealth has been waiting for. And now arrives, not because you chased it, not because you proved yourself, but because you finally spoke, as the one who already is.